Hello, 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 and welcome to A Cup of Meg and Joe with me, your host, Meg and Joe. While I hold a cup of, not necessarily Joe, but a cup of tea, because it is 8 p.m. and we are not having caffeine right now. This is a cup of elderberry tea if you're wondering what's in my little titty mug. We love a good titty mug. I felt it was only right to start off this way. I initially started this last year around February when I was promoting my song Red. And then life just kind of happened and I wasn't able to fulfill the rest of the episodes that I had in mind. So now we're here. We're restarting. We're doing the whole thing again. And we are in a new era of life. We are in a new home and in a new city. And just in an entirely different place than I was at when I initially started this podcast last year. So let's talk about why we're here, why we sit here, why I want to do this, and how this has been an idea of mine for the past, decade of my life. Some of you may know me as a singer-songwriter, a friend, or a girl who posts a lot of selfies and dumps on Instagram. Maybe even a cover artist that you used to watch on a segment called Meg and Joe Mondays. But this podcast is an entirely different thing, and that is a free space to get to know each other on a deeper level, not through just pictures and videos on Instagram, and honestly just through genuine conversation, which is my favorite way to get to know people. And honestly, what better way to do that than to sit with a cup of your fave bev in your I really just said fave bev. Yeah, I mean it. Your favorite beverage in your hand, and we just talk. I would just love to talk. I was always known as the girl in school to be quote unquote talkative. So let's make that useful. Let's put that to use and let's talk in a mic. To people, to you, to friends, to anyone really who wants to listen and talk, because that's what we're here for. Let us talk. Let's have fun. Let's share stories, maybe even an embarrassing story of how you shit your pants in the 3rd grade. Just kidding. That was me. I say that to say that this is a no judgment zone. I will definitely tell you the story of how I shit my pants in 3rd grade if you really want to know all the messy details, because it's a fun story. It's one of my most embarrassing stories, but honestly a really, really great one. I wasn't allowed to go to the bathroom in the middle of a math lesson, so I had to wait. And in result, waiting turned into me having to fart, so I let out a fart in my desk, and in my jumper came out shit. And I literally shit all over my pants. Well, not my pants, my jumper. I immediately had to go to the bathroom. I was like, I don't think I even got up to go to the bathroom now that I think about it, because it was all over my jumper before I knew it. Mind you, it's a skirt, okay? So there's just like shit all over the bottom of my thighs. This is really disgusting. Anyway, long story short, I shit my jumper, and it was really bad, to the point where all the staff of the school was like sniffing me at lunch because there was a scent of shit around the cafeteria at lunchtime. So they were trying to figure out where that was coming from, who it was, like what they needed to do to like all of that. So I got sent to the principal's office because what do you know? I smelled like shit. So I got sent to the principal's office. I got questioned. I got interrogated, literally, to ask me if I shit my pants. And first few times I said no, but then I had to admit to it because, it just had to. It came out of me. Pun intended. Luckily, though, I was in the after school. I was in the after school program, so my mom had always packed me an extra pair of clothes and even underwear. Okay, so lucky me had a change of clothes, and I was able to change in the principal's office. Although, before I changed, I, in fact, took another shit in the principal's office, and it was really bad. And the janitor had to come in and like clean it all up. And I remember him coming out of the bathroom and he just like looked at me like I was crazy. So there you go. That's what I was about to say 3rd-year-old me. That's what 3rd grade me did at, how old are you in 3rd grade? Like 8 years old. Yeah, I changed into a really cute outfit and new underwear, and I went on with the rest of my day. And I think the principal called my mom to tell her that I shit my pants. But, you think the principal would call your mom if you did something really, really bad. But no, just imagine that phone call. Hi, yes, I would like to talk to you about your daughter. And then my mom goes, yeah, what's wrong? She may have pooped in her jumper and it is all over her and her thighs. Anyway, yeah, that's the story. So there you go. I gave you my first embarrassing story. So from here on out, I need your embarrassing stories and we'll talk about it. This is a no judgment zone, and that is exactly why I told that story. So let's get into it. Let's talk life. Earlier, I mentioned that I am in a new era in my life, opposite to the era that I was in when I initially recorded this podcast last year. And by that, I mean I'm just in a whole new era in my life. I am in a new home, a new city, a new mindset, and I kind of just want to talk about that a little bit more. And I know like the whole thing lately that's been a term is like your villain era or your so-and-so era. And I personally think I'm in my, those times when you feel like you're in your prime. I think you can be in your prime every year at a certain point. And for me right now, I feel like it's a new prime. As much as I felt that before, I am very much in a new prime. The era that I believe that I am in right now in my life is kind of, I think I want to call it my buckle down era, if that makes sense. What I mean by my buckle down era is that all the gears in my brain are turning right now. And I feel like I'm at a really good place in my brain right now, mentally, emotionally, physically, not the best, but I think mentally and emotionally, we're doing really well. That's something I also want to do on here, is kind of a check-in with ourselves, a mental one, an emotional one, and a physical one. And I think the mental and emotional one can go in hand. And physical, we're all working on it every day. I mean, we're working on all of those every day. And I love doing those check-ins with myself. So I think it'd be fun to do it together. What do you think? So yeah, I just feel like I'm in the era of my life where I kind of want to tackle every idea that I have, this being one of them. So there you go. I just want to be a man of my word. And I think that that's very important, just as like a rule of thumb, to be a man of your word. And I want to be a man of my word to myself, because there are so many goals and things that I've been wanting to achieve and do. Something so small as learning how to crochet that has been on my list since last year, probably early last year. And it's something that I still haven't done, and my yarn is just sitting there. But it has now made its place on my vision board. We'll talk about that later. But so that's what I mean, is just being a man of your word and really like keeping the promises that you make to yourself, and that being anything that you tell yourself that you want to do. I promise you will feel so much better if you do it, and you will feel happier. And I think it's a sign of just showing yourself that you love yourself. It's basically showing up for yourself. I learned how to show up for myself when I did the 30-day yoga challenge with Yoga with Adriene, my favorite yogi ever. She has changed my life in so many ways. My best friend suggested her to me when I think it was in 2017 maybe, and she just suggested that we do some yoga, and that this specific person, Adriene, was amazing. And honestly, once I started yoga with Adriene, I never stopped. I will say I don't do it every single day, and I am currently trying to get back into the groove of things because context, I was sick. I had COVID for like 2 weeks, and then my ribs got messed up and I couldn't do anything physical for a long time. So right now I'm trying to get back into the groove of doing physical things. So that, I guess, there is your physical check-in with me. I'm really trying to get back into yoga, but that there is an example of being a man of your word, just promising that to yourself that that's what you're going to do. And it feels really good to show up for yourself. And I learned that when I was doing yoga because I had that 30-day yoga challenge and I had to show up every day for 30 days to do that challenge because that is what I signed up to do. And I'm going to start what I finished. I'm going to finish what I started. So yeah, I truly intend to be a man of my word this year. And that just being getting shit done. Recently, I created my first ever vision board inspired by the one and only Lexi, who also very much inspired me doing this podcast. I love listening to her. So, and we kind of have the same style. I just want to share personal stories. This is like a whole personal little journal with you guys that we kind of just have together. It's like a shared personal journal if you want to think about it that way. So I created my first ever vision board last Friday and it was so much fun. I made it on Procreate and I kind of just, before I did it, I made a little notes app. I didn't make a notes app. I made a note section in my notes app. I made a checklist of the things that I want on it, which essentially are the things that I want to achieve, the goals that I want to achieve, the things that I want to do within the next couple of months, even within the next couple of days. So I kind of jotted all of that down and I searched on Pinterest for some images in like that fit all of those things that I listed, and I made a vision board. And it is one of my most favorite things that I've created because I've always wanted to do it, and I guess I never really knew how, nor was I in maybe the brain capacity to do it because I felt so ready to be like, yeah, this is my vision board. This is my dream. And I don't think I've ever felt like that. Or not that I've ever felt like that, but I haven't felt like that in a really long time. The way that I feel right now is very different. We're in a really solid place. And for that, I'm very happy, and I'm very proud of myself for everything, for the things that I've been getting done recently, and just like the motivation that I have recently. So that is a very long, detailed story of my quote unquote buckle down era, but it's really kind of also like your getting shit done era, your boss bitch era, all the same. And I kind of want to know what era you're in your life, and because everybody's in their different journey, everybody's going through a different time in their life. And literally 3 months ago, I was not this person. I love the new version of me that I have evolved into the past 2-3 months. But I will say about like 4 months ago, and even within the past year, I've been at such a low point in my life. I don't really know what kind of era you would call it. It was kind of like a black hole, honestly. I just felt like I was like falling into a hole that was like never ending. So we're out of that hole now. And yeah, so I just kind of really want to know what era you're in your life and the things you have learned from it, the things that you're currently still learning, because honestly, one thing that I keep learning is that you will continue to lose yourself in order to find yourself over and over again, and in turn get to know the best version of you time and time again. And personally, I feel that so hard because I feel like that happens to me every single year, especially during like a life change or during something, especially during life changes. I think those are the biggest ones because they really shape you, and they really just get you to a point where you just have to really know yourself on a deeper level. And then I think in that just comes so many different waves and so many different feelings and all of these random things. And that's kind of what happened to me. And I will probably be going through another life change within the next few months, but we're not there yet. So we're living in this bliss right now. And that's a good word. I like that word, blissful era. We're also just, I wouldn't say it's my blissful era, because bliss, I feel like you're just kind of swiftly like going along through life. And as much as I feel that in a way, I also feel like I'm working really hard to be where I am at right now. So that's why I say buckle down era. So what era are you in? What are you learning from it? I just want to know. I love knowing where people are at in their life, what kind of things you're feeling. Let's do a little mental check-in, an emotional check-in, a physical check-in. That's kind of the biggest topic that I wanted to do on this first episode, is life and your life era and that whole mental, physical, emotional check-in. Like I said, mentally, I'm doing really well right now, surprisingly, but rightfully so. I think I've been doing all the things, all the hard work in order to get myself to where I'm at mentally right now. And emotionally, I think we're also good. I mean, I think if you know me personally, you know that I'm a very emotional person. But one thing that I have learned in therapy is that everybody is emotional. They just all show it in different ways. For me, I will feel everything all at once. Oh my God, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Great freaking movie. we're losing track. Yeah, emotionally, I'm always very emotional, but I think I'm able to keep my feelings in check and kind of keep my sanity a little better with my emotions in check. I have learned how to navigate my feelings more recently within the past year, and in turn I have gotten to know myself better in those terms. So feelings are feelings, man. Like they're everywhere, but as long as you kind of know how to understand them and know how to navigate them, I think that you're good. But honestly, we can all lose control sometimes, and feelings are inevitable. You feel what you feel. As long as you're not going batshit crazy on someone, I think it's okay to feel anything. I'm literally slouching in this chair. You see how much I'm having just a great time just talking to myself. Side note, another thing that I really love to do, which is kind of why I wanted to do this podcast too, is I make a lot of video diary entries just for myself. No one has seen them. They are not for anyone. They are only for my viewing, and kind of just for me to look back on to see what I was feeling during that time, during that crazy breakup, or during, all that stuff. And I think this is kind of that, but now with you, with actual people to talk to, and with it being not just one-sided and me just talking to myself. But I will say, talking to yourself out loud is so much fun. That may sound crazy, I know, but like, you are the one who understands yourself the most out of everyone you know. Your best friend may understand you, but you understand yourself on a way deeper level, obviously, because it's you. And to think things to yourself is one thing. To talk them out loud to yourself is another. Then if we're going to go the extra mile, talking about them out loud to a therapist is even better. But this is kind of that. It's a little form of therapy. I think I worded that really well. I think that's what I really want out of this. It's this whole video self diary thing. Excuse me. I didn't want to do that into the mic, but I also should burp to you guys to show you guys my true colors, even though some of you may know that I burp like a monster. To sum this all up, I think we got it all in. This is just the first little intro episode anyway. So I really just wanted to give you guys a rundown of what this podcast will be, what my intentions are, and also like there are no strict rules on this. It's kind of just a free for all. Obviously, I will have topics that I want to talk about and all of that, and I will eventually love to have guests on here. But for now, it's just me and you and me, chatting, talking, sharing stories, and just doing a little check-in. Love check-ins. Love any form of check-in, really. And yeah, I think we covered all the bases. We talked about our life era, what life era we're in right now. And I would really, really, really love to hear what era you're in your life. I would love to hear anything. So if you have any suggestions on what you would like to hear on here, please feel free to tell me them. Please share an equally embarrassing story or an even better one to my shitting my pants story in 3rd grade, because I would love that. Again, no judgment zone at all. We are here. We're just here to talk. That's really it. And have fun. So let's end that here. All of that to say, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I'm so happy that we're going to make this a thing. I plan to do this every Monday. We're going to revive my little segment called Meg and Joe Mondays, but this time it's a podcast. Oh my God, my dreams are coming true right now in this moment, in this first episode. It's great. It's really great. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say. That will be all for the first episode of A Cup of Meg and Joe. And thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking around if you're still here listening. And I am looking forward to continuing this little personal little conversation and just getting to know each other more, getting to know your stories, getting to know you getting to know me. We are getting intimate here, or anything you want, really. It's just a place to sit and chat. I just really love deep conversations. You know, think of it as those like deep conversations you have with your friends or anyone that lasts until like 4 a.m. and you're just like, oh my God, where'd the time go? And it's because you just kept talking your ass off about everything under the sun. That is what I want this to be, except we're not going to be talking until 4 a.m. I mean, if you want to, you could listen to this at like 3 a.m. and we could talk till 4 a.m. I'll be here for that. Anyway, I will end this here, and I am so excited. I'm so excited for this. This is a really big thing on my to-do list, on my dream list, on my goal list, and this first episode right here is me being a man of my word and keeping that promise to myself, because we show up for ourselves. That is the most important thing you can do for yourself. So let's walk away with that. Show up for yourselves, and let's just have fun getting to know each other while you also maybe get to know yourself a little more. Ooh, mysterious. We can do anything on this. Okay. Well, I'll talk to you later. I got so sidetracked talking, and I barely even drank this. But cheers to the first episode of A Cup of Meg and Joe. And I will talk to you later. Bye.